This is the video about the handout and information that we covered in the third week of our group, which was last Thursday. So I'm just going to go through it with you today, just to kind of recap what we went over. So yeah, we had a bit of a focus this week mostly around children's centres and the support that children's centres can provide, and where all the different ones are in Tower Hamlets and how you can access that support for young children. So yeah, we know that children's centres are a really, really great resource. They are open for kind of all families. They're a universal service, so all families with children under 5 years old, and they have lots and lots of free sessions there that you can take your child to, either before they start nursery or also when they're at nursery as well. So they have lots of things going on. They have kind of stay and play sessions and activities around certain topics. So they might have like a sensory play session, or like an outside session, or a art session. So there's lots of different things you can attend, and they're different for each children's centre. So it's really important that you have a look at what your local children's centre is, which one is closest to you, and you can give them a call, or you can go in and register your child there. So then you can access all of the classes and things that are going on there. So in the group, we had to think about which ones our local children's centres were and if people had registered for them yet. So some of the examples I've put on here are things like Meath Gardens Children's Centre, John Smith Children's Centre, where we have the group around Poplar Children's Centre and Marna Children's Centre, but there are lots more as well. And yeah, so it's just thinking about which one is yours really, and then each children's centre have their own timetable, so you can go on the website and look at their timetable, and they will tell you all the activities that are happening. And sometimes I think you can just turn up, but sometimes you'll need to call and book a place, so you'll just need to check with the children's centre what you need to do. So yeah, there's lots of support there, and also there are kind of professionals there that can help you with other things as well. So if you need a bit of support with kind of different parenting things, or behaviour support for your child at home or things like that, the children's centres can help you with that as well, which is really useful. The other things that we had a bit of a chat about as well was kind of the other options for nurseries, what the differences were between different nurseries in Tower Hamlets. So you can see on here I've listed some, and we looked a little bit at kind of more private nurseries who offer support all the way from birth to kind of 4 or 5 years. But if your child is under 2, you mostly need to pay for that support. And then children with additional needs can get funding when they're 2, so they could have a free place there. And then when they're 3, all children who are 3 can get 3-year-old funding, so then they could also go to these nurseries as well. So examples in Tower Hamlets might be Bright Horizons, Acola Kids and Global Kids. So they're all examples of private nurseries in Tower Hamlets that you might want to send your child to when they're 2 or 3. We also have local authority nurseries, so nurseries that are run by Tower Hamlets Council, and they also offer places for children. This again is mostly just kind of when they're 3, but some nurseries also have a 2-year-old provision, so a 2-year-old class as well. So you just have to find out which ones those are. And these are term time only, so these run a little bit more like schools, I suppose. And they could go for a morning or an afternoon place. So some of these that are in Tower Hamlets would be things like Old Ford and Culloden and Marna and Wellington. So they are all school nurseries that are attached to primary schools. So they're quite nice because your child can go to nursery there, and then if you want to, they can just carry on and go to the primary school as well in reception in year 1 and year 2. You can also have just nursery schools that are not attached to schools. they're just on their own, like Children's House or Old Church Nursery. So your child can go there when they're 3, and then when they want to go into reception, you need to choose a different school for them to go to. So it's just all about seeing what is around you, where you live, what are your local nurseries, what ones are available, and then ringing them up and going to visit and chatting to them about how they can support your child. And yeah, you choosing which one you think is best, really. And we can help a little bit with explaining your options, but it's your decision. So it's really good to go and visit lots when the child is ready for, especially ready for school. I've put childminders on here as well, but that's just an extra thing. And then what I didn't have time to go through last week, because we had a busy session again, was the last 3 strategies that we have been talking about to support our children with their language development. So we've already gone through 5 so far. So these are the last 3 that I'm going to go through today. So the first one is around how we're watching what our child does to really pick up on what they're doing to communicate with us and what they're trying to tell us. So it's looking at, they might not be talking yet and using words, but they might be doing other things to tell us what they want to say. So they might be smiling, they might make some noises, they might look at you or look at something. They might use their hands to gesture. So it's trying to notice these really carefully so we can see what the child wants to say. And it might be that we then copy these things as well, because that's a really nice way of showing our child that we've seen what they've done and we know they're trying to communicate with us. And we do this quite a lot anyway, but it's really nice for children with Down syndrome because sometimes this stage takes a little bit longer. And sometimes some of the things they're doing are a bit more difficult for us to pick up on and notice. The next one is around the time we take when children are trying to communicate with us. So we know that children with Down syndrome often need a little bit extra time to process what we're saying, to understand what we're saying, and to then respond, tell us what, give us an answer. So sometimes we have to watch quite carefully and we have to wait a little bit longer when we've asked them a question or we've asked them to do something, because they need a little bit longer to process that information and then give us an answer. So yeah, so sometimes we need to just slow down a bit and pause after we've spoken so they can take that information in and they can understand it. And then the last one is something I think we all do anyway. So we know that children with Down syndrome are very socially motivated. So they really like people and really like interacting with people. So it's really great that when they do something that's positive, or they do try and talk to us or communicate with us, that we give them lots of praise and we smile and we show on our face that we're really happy with them. And that will keep them motivated and want them to do that thing again. It might be we do other things with them, like, we can say, oh yeah, good talking or good sitting, or we can sing their favorite song or then play their favorite game with them. But actually, a lot of the time, it's just being really positive and giving a big smile and showing them that it's really great when they've communicated with us. So yes, there are 8 top tips for communicating with children with Down syndrome. So if you want us to go through those again with you at all, then me and Kate can do that. But I hope that all that information was clear, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon. Bye.